Good morning and welcome to the Hobby Breakfast Show. 1 year subscriber. No.
1 year subscriber.
One subscriber special. That's the wine. Good morning and welcome to the Hobby Breakfast Show. 100.
Are we keeping the first?
You got 100 from. You're just going to keep saying it now as well. Remember that one time where I couldn't say morning water?
Yeah.
Yep. This is that worse.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Hobby Breakfast Show. 1 year. You trying to say subscriber again?
1 year subscriber. 1 year subscriber special.
It has nothing to do with subscribers. It just has to do with we've been doing this for a year. We've not earned any money. Good morning and welcome to the Hobby Breakfast Show 1 year special podcast episode, which we filmed less than a year into it. But never mind, we'll ignore that fact. And as you probably noticed, we have released the episode slightly late this month, which was definitely deliberate.
Yep, fully planned.
Not our incompetence at all.
Yeah.
I am your host, Onod, as always, and I'm joined by my co-hosts. We have the Bear.
Hello.
And we have OT.
Hello.
And we're all in person for this very special episde. By design.
Yeah. Gathered round the Black Yeti microphone.
Yeah. The microphone situation wasn't ideal. But we've been doing this for a year.
Our first video has 105 views.
Pretty good. Be honest, how long did you think that we'd actually do this for?
I mean, you were pretty keen when we started. It was sort of your idea to do it. And I feel like we might have talked about doing some kind of podcast thing for a while. And you obviously have your blog. So I didn't think we'd do it as frequently as we do. But I could imagine us doing it for a long time.
I think the fact that we've kept it up,
yes,
we've released at least one video every week.
52 weeks.
I think the most impressive thing was us doing that for like the first few months, actually, because the first few months where the only content we were doing was the podcast, and we were all managing to
be in every one.
We were all getting together to record it, and then we were all. Initially, it was me editing, but then obviously OT and then may have taken over some editing as well, spitting it out within a week. It was
intense.
Yes, but
also nobody watched them.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was the well, I still feel like, we were watching 20 views coming in. We were like, wow, 20 people have just sat through some portion of us rambling.
Yeah,
10 of them were us. 10 of them were us at least, yeah.
But and obviously we're now nearing 500 subs, which is insane.
464 at time of recording.
Actually insane that people listen to this, but
that's your decision.
Yeah, I'm not going to thank the viewers because they've made their bed.
They've only got themselves to blame.
They can lie. So what we're going to be doing in today's episode is we are going to be running through some questions that we've had throughout the year, some of which we've answered in short written statements.
Yeah.
To the police.
To the police.
We're going to be giving.
What have you been doing?
The full audio drivel. So stay tuned for that.
We're going to fill out our answers to some short answers we've given in the comments. It's maybe a better way of
there we go, yeah. But we'll also be doing hobby and news. And there's probably something to talk about for news.
FAQ. The FAQ.
Oh, yeah, shit.
There is actual news.
It's actual news. Oh. Should we do that as a separate video so people actually listen to it?
We can talk about it briefly.
We can talk about it briefly.
Mention its existence. But yeah, I think definitely.
Okay, right. Hobby. Meth.
What? Why on earth? Why are we starting with me? I mean, basically, I've done pretty much Sweet FA. I've built some Amazonians for Blood Bowl. I built and half painted some Separatist Legion stuff, which might be done by the time this podcast goes up, which will be in a few days, so hopefully I'll have painted them by then, and you'll see some lovely pictures. And I've built a load of Rohan as well, which will need painting, and that's it.
Okay.
Exciting, eh?
Yes.
Excited.
There's going to be a
so
montage
excited.
for your shit in a minute.
Yes. I've done quite a lot of painting.
You've done an incredible amount of
It's
painting.
been the summer vibes, when it's been raining, so I haven't had anything else to do. Yeah, so I have painted this month. I did a Wookiee.
He's got his Instagram out because he literally can't remember everything he did.
It's how I log my painting. I've done this Wookiee as my leader. He's really good in the game.
Yes.
I can confirm that he does stuff.
Yeah.
A
good bullet sponge.
Yeah, he really soaks up a few shots there. I have also painted a Blood Bowl team, the Norse. Not a full team, but a Gutter Bowl team. So 9 models. I think I've already said that I didn't enjoy painting them.
Yeah.
On the
Fiddly
on the channel, just a royal pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Too much stuff. But I then did some stuff which I did enjoy painting. So I finished painting Gandalf the Grey. I actually painted this mostly a while ago.
Gandalf the Blue.
Yeah, it's a very blue grey, isn't it? I kind of think he looks better like that.
I think it looks nice. It looks kind of classic, doesn't it?
I'm not a fan. Well, I think that people can paint Gandalf with actual grey very well. Personally, though, I think he looks better in this kind of like Space Wolves grey blue. Yeah, so there's Gandalf. I painted Yoda, who I'm super happy with.
Exceptional forehead.
Yeah, he's just got a massive head, doesn't he?
No.
But we won't hold that against him.
Why would
yeah.
you?
Again, he is just amazing in the game.
Yeah.
Does so much, and he's really good at not dying.
Yeah.
I painted my second clone trooper unit.
I think they're my favourite that you painted.
Mercy, yeah, the little camo. I painted a Blood Bowl goblin. I don't really know why I painted that.
Yeah, that was a bit rogue.
I think I was like in a Blood Bowl mood, so I painted this as a tester, and I was like, yeah, I can't be arsed, and didn't paint the rest of his team. But I've now decided on their colour scheme, so at some point I'll get around to that. And then finally, I painted 4 elephants.
For a game that
I haven't played.
Exists?
It does exist. It's called Zoom Talus. I quite like the look of them.
They look very cool.
They are cool, aren't they? Yeah. So there you go. That's all the stuff that I painted this month.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Me, I've done. It's all been Star Wars Legion. I finished off a Rebel Veterans team. I painted Luke, who you can see here, and
he looks really good.
Yeah. And I painted 4 Ewoks, who I got from a third-party printer, who I thought looked really cool. They've done some cool little customization bits with them that make them pretty wacky in game, which is fun. But yeah, I've got like 20 Ewoks still to paint.
20.
And you'll have them done by next month.
I will have them done by next month. I've got 2 clear weeks of nothing to do, so I'm just going to paint like a demon.
That's what you want to hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need that in my life.
Good times.
Right.
There you go. That's hobby.
That is hobby. Quite productive.
We played lots of games too.
We did.
We have played a lot of games last month as well, yeah.
Tournaments?
Multiple games.
There were a couple of tournaments.
There's been tournaments.
I won a tournament that we went to.
Warsaw. People have seen the YouTube short that we put up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That excellent short.
That was a slightly unusual tournament, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Diplomatic.
Yep. That's all I'm going to say on the matter on the advice of council.
Good. Let's move on then to the Q&A. It's not really a Q&A.
It's questions we've made up because people didn't have
You'd thought with 400 subscribers, especially given
more than 2 would ask questions.
How many people comment on the actual videos? No one actually.
We should be more divisive. We should have made a provoking.
I think maybe people just don't care.
Ask questions for next time.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions, and we've also had questions about the that we're going to answer. Some of them better than others.
Yeah, some of them technically not really questions.
Can you choose the combat though? That's the question.
This is a good question.
A very good question.
And we are also going to. I think. Did we decide we're going to ask the other two a question?
Yeah,
I've got questions for you two.
Questions.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You mean you haven't prepared?
Who do you think you are? What gives you the right?
I will have prepared by the time we get around to that point in the video.
Right. Well, what have people asked us then?
Yeah.
We'll do our
What
questions.
the
at
people
end.
asked?
We got an interesting one. I haven't written down who asked these questions. I apologise. You know who you are. Shout out to you.
Did you not make a note? Did you write this?
No.
These are actual
questions. Someone asked, "Are GBHL hundreds enjoyable?" And I think the context was them being like, "Should I go to one?" I've never been to a GBHL 100. I've been to a 90 and an 80. I didn't massively enjoy the 90. I'm not going to lie, but I am told with reasonable authority that was an unusually competitive 90.
Yeah.
I think I've heard arguments being said that GBHL hundreds are kind of more fun if you're not competitively minded because you end up, there's so many people going that you kind of end up in the grouping that you should be with. That's how it's kind of been explained to me. So I would say probably.
They're fun as long as you don't want to win if you're not an experienced player. Would be like if you're going for the experience, I think that's fine because people are generally really supportive, and especially if you're a less experienced player, they'll generally be quite nice to you. But if you're an ultra sweaty power gamer,
I think based on our experiences, I would say if you're looking to go and enjoy events, just go to 80s.
Yeah.
If you're looking to go to slightly more competitive events, but you still want to have fun, go to a 90. And if you want to really test your skill, go to 100. Otherwise, if you're new, I mean, 100s would be a trial by fire. Which, if you're happy with that, then
you'll learn a
go
lot,
for it. You'll learn a lot.
But you probably
I think if you're an absolute beginner, go to an 80.
Yes.
I think if you
or just don't go to GBHL.
I think if you know what you're doing and you don't massively mind if you're not going to win, then 100 is probably fine.
The only would be that the more competitive the events, the more people are going to look for an edge.
That's true.
That might be not the most enjoyable.
Your inexperience is going to be their edge. Yeah.
I think it's just it depends on the events.
Yes.
And I think some weirdly just attracts very.
And also, it depends. Each event will have big variance in. There are so many players there. And if you run into one quite toxic player, it can ruin your whole day. Whereas, actually, most players are pretty nice.
Yeah, 99% of people will be fine. We'll move on to the second question. How could you make dwarves better again? I assume that this is hypothetical and that they didn't think that we had the power to do this. Were they ever meta?
Not in my head. They were meta in Watcher. They were very good in Watcher. They were very good in Watcher.
Yeah. The dice rolling simulator.
Yeah. I don't know, what costs dwarves is their maneuverability. So if you Iron Hills, maybe if you're willing to spam a ballista and a bunch of goats and be a bit.
The best dwarf lists that you see doing well are usually Erebor reclaimed, with some Iron Hills mixed in.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't take a ballista anymore.
Yeah.
But they'll take Gloin, Thorin, or Thorin and Dane, or some combination of hard hitting dwarves and just a load of dudes, because the fight 4, strength 4, defense 7 is
D8
is incredible. But like you said, they don't have the maneuverability, and sometimes they don't have the numbers. So I guess if you were trying to make them competitive again, well, you can take goat riders, so that makes them maneuverable.
They only each move, and they can ally with survivors of Lake Town. Which
the knockdown rule is quite nice on the Go Riders.
Yes,
though.
it's true.
I think allies is the answer.
Yes,
just take an allied force, and I think that they're okay.
Are you making dwarves more competitive then, though, or are you just supplementing them?
Yeah, because you're winning with dwarves. It's just they're allied with someone.
It's like Serpent Horde. Is strong by itself, but because it has some good green allies, they can make up for weaknesses.
It's better with fire ads or more.
Or just ally Thorin on goat into Lake Town or any
which
other
I think
Hobbit
is
army.
how people.
Yeah, they do. But then You're not really playing dwarves.
No,
You're-
that's
you're
fair. It's
But
not-
like,
it's not the
my
main
Thralls list with Dale, like the Dale make up for a weakness of the dwarves.
I think Thror and Dale are solid.
Yeah.
They're probably not gonna
no, they're not
win
going
a tournament, but
Yeah.
they're solid.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think we really answered that question.
No.
I think
the answer is we don't really know.
I think
but-
the answer is that I think if you made dwarves,
Make the movement 6.
I think dwarves have to be the way they are to prevent them being too good because you've got them such high armor now. If you were to give them anything too much more,
They play like dwarves.
yeah.
Because like even if you're like losing a game, it's actually very rare that you'll get tabled. Because like you just stick around forever, and like when your heroes are D8, D9, like
Well, you're losing on objective.
yeah, and that's the weakness. It's like armies should have a weakness to them, otherwise
you've got to play around. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah.
Our third question: why?
I like this question.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's philosophical.
Yeah.
I think, and I think it can be interpreted in a number of ways. I think the way it was intended by the person was, "Why the fuck are you doing this as a video idea?" And the honest answer to that is creative bankruptcy.
We're scraping the barrel.
Just completely out of idea.
You could also interpret it on a kind of like, what is the purpose
of life.
of life?
Yeah, and I don't know the answer to that right now.
I think we could. I think the purpose of life.
Fucking hell.
I really hope you're cutting those.
To earn money to give the game to work.
Nice.
There we go. That is. Mayor, do you have any input on why?
Why have we made this channel?
Again, another deep and philosophical question. Because I was bored.
And no one's told us not to.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet, yeah, exactly.
Because it was easier to make this channel than it was to type up a blog.
Which is actually how it all started.
Yeah. We can get onto that later, maybe. Here's a one for OT Babs. What if the Orcish, Heathen, Dwarven, and Elven middle classes united?
If the Dwarvish what?
It's from
Orcish,
political
human,
theory.
Dwarven, and Elven middle classes united in Middle Earth.
I would argue.
Are there middle
I'd
classes?
argue, yeah, some of those don't have middle classes.
The orcs don't have middle classes.
I think the Orc middle class is Orc leadership because they are below Sauron.
Isn't that
so
just-
so
isn't that
Gothmog is middle class.
I'd say
he's upper middle
I'd say
class.
he's upper class.
He's got like a family estate sized warg. That voice thick. So
Okay.
You've answered your own question.
Let's see if that stays.
I think that they would create a more prosperous society.
Well, the middle class is shrinking, to be fair. So maybe this is the answer.
True.
Maybe fictional middle classes should unite and solve all our problems.
I think it should. Why weren't hobbits included in this?
Well, the
Yeah.
hobbits are all fairly middle class,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah, but they're not allowed
Oh, I
to
see.
unite with the others.
It's a good question.
They do their own thing, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah,
Dwarves can't do their own thing, though, to be fair.
it's interesting with Tolkien, isn't it? Because when we were doing that political video, obviously it's not really something that he massively focused on, and I guess Tolkien kind of had the luxury of he was almost like inventing a genre.
Mm.
Whilst I think modern writers have to think a lot more about this to try and make their works more innovative. So, like Game of Thrones is like this is its thing. Because if you just rewrote Tolkien, everyone's just like, "Oh, you're a Tolkien ripoff."
Yeah,
not interested. So you got to kind of carve out your niche. But I think the reason why we thought it was so interesting is that Tolkien's worlds are so in depth. Even though he doesn't focus on it, you can still
Make assumptions.
do stuff. It's almost like his world is historically. You're able to still discuss it even if he didn't focus on it. So it's interesting. What is your favourite Middle Earth strategy battle game army and why?
Do we have to own the army?
I don't think you have to own it. But I am intrigued by what army you're going to pick.
Favorite?
I would say from a purely I enjoy owning perspective, it's the Ents.
Mm.
I suspect if you ask me this question in a few months, it may be Grey Company because I really enjoy painting and playing them. And I think that they kind of fit my play style of being elites, but are slightly easier to run than Ents in a kind of they can actually do scenarios. Do you want to just open it? I'm not speaking that loud.
No,
There we go.
that was slightly louder.
Getting the tinny open. So I'd say Ents, and but yeah, why I don't know. I just like Ents.
Mm.
I mean, I can go more in depth, but I don't think anyone cares.
You quite like the sort of good army.
I'm
Naturey
definitely a
dudes,
sucker
don't you?
for the good armies. Yeah.
I think my favourite army is Shire
Shire.
because they're very characterful. They're not that competitive, which is fine. But I just like that. I feel like the Shire is, where everyone would want to live if they were in Middle Earth, and
Yeah, because it's just actually
it's just really
England,
nice.
Countryside.
Yeah,
the
it's just a
Cotswolds.
nice. Yeah, it's just a nice place to be, and you're
Western
playing
Ghats.
like the ultimate good guys. I think, other than if you were maybe doing Fellowship or something. Like they're just
Neutral good.
they're neutral good.
they're neutral good.
They're neutral good.
They're just lovely, and I like that you get all the characters and they all have nice
Yeah.
rules. And I quite like that they're not competitive as well.
They're really well done with all those characters. I think
Yeah.
they're kind of like a high point of the Middle Earth revival that Games Workshop were like, yeah, let's make all these little hobbits.
Mm.
Like, a nice
The
thing.
Forge World models for those are so nice.
Yeah, they're very nice. What flavour of dwarfs is it then?
Well, I think it's Khazad-dûm.
Khazad-dûm.
I think it's where I started, and it will always have a fond place in my heart. But like, I think Thrall's is better for me.
Yeah, I think you enjoy playing Thralls more, don't you?
Yeah. And Iron Hill's coming soon, so that may become my new favourite.
There you go.
D8 front line.
Fucking hell.
Are Rivendell Dice OP? Yes.
Yes.
Next question.
They statistically roll averagely,
Right.
but
Have you got any salt?
Prove it,
but
yeah.
but because the face of the dice is so distinctive, you instinctively remember that, so you feel like they're OP. Because you're like, oh, you're looking for that 6, and you remember what the face looks like. You're like 6, because if you think about Onod earlier with his dice, there were a number of 6s coming down.
So you think the one ring dice are less memorable than the Elven?
I just think the Rivendell dice in particular have a very distinctive face on the 6.
It's
That makes them
the
more memorable.
gold.
Yeah, I think it stands out more. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care about the dice means.
You did still advise someone to buy them though.
Yes.
So that's all bollocks. Why does OT hate Uriko?
I mean, I don't. Like, this is a fantasy that's been spun by my enemies.
We're gonna have to cut in the clip.
Yeah.
Hunt that clip down.
Oh, what did I say? I said all Orico look the same.
Unfortunate wording in an early episode.
Yeah, I don't. For clarity. Good Lord.
Insert clip now.
Yeah. Well, you know where you're going to go and find that clip.
Here's a good one. Does painting cover cloth, metal, and skin though?
Does painting cover?
Cloth, metal, and skin.
What do you mean by cover?
Do you,
Is that what painting is?
yeah. Do you remember the Rivendell episode?
Yes, I remember very well.
Okay, good.
I mean, I
No.
feel like it does cover everything.
No, hair.
I think that's one of the funniest things that's ever happened. I think that was so funny. Where you,
Okay.
you just gradually ring out for answer.
You can paint cloth, metal,
skin.
all the good bits.
Yeah, I mean, I guess fur is the only thing that I missed there.
And hair.
Well,
That
you
was-
could say hair, and that would include fur, I suppose.
And leather.
Leather.
Leather is skin.
It is. He's
Oh,
got
it's
you there.
pleather. It's pleather. It's the elves are middle class, and they've started, all becoming.
I suppose vegetation ents aren't included in this, aren't they? Got you there.
wood.
Yeah, okay.
An axe wouldn't be covered by
Natural materials.
Stone.
stone. The answer is no.
Next question.
What will the next Games Workshop Middle Earth strategy battle release be? Wrong answers only. I'm not sure what's wrong answers only. But
Does it have to be wrong answers, or can we actually give?
Okay, real answer first.
Okay.
Last Alliance. I think that Elrond's.
Will it specifically be Last Alliance though, or will it just be wars before?
I just think that the way that they did the last Defense of the North is they released stuff and then they brought out the book later. I just think it would be really weird if they released Elrond in plastic and then never did anything. For the
I think they'll do it, but I would be really surprised if they don't include either Arnor or Angmar in there to some degree.
Maybe
Arnold might be nice.
maybe a generic old time war thing.
I reckon they'll lose the rights to it and we'll never have any more.
Really? That soon?
Well, they haven't released anything since the Black Rider reveal.
But that was after the rights got bought up by the whatchamacallit group.
Embracer
Group.
But it's not it's not a miniature as such.
I don't think that they would have said in that reveal that we're working on stuff but we can't show you. I don't think.
I'm hoping you're right.
I don't think Games Workshop ever outright lie. I think that they would have just said, and we've got this very exciting thing to show you, and they wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, they're currently hiring someone to sculpt Middle-earth.
I saw that, yeah.
So I
was tempted.
Were you?
Mm.
Yeah. I
Not that I can do it.
just wanted to
Just to like the idea.
I just feel like they must be doing something. I kind of, because obviously the Embracer group, we did a video on this, didn't we?
We did.
Through various means, the people who own that licensing are the same people who own the company that make Star Wars, Legion, Shatterpoint, and Marvel Crisis Protocol.
So they might want to.
They might run down their license. Do you think though that they are thinking to themselves, we'll make more money from a company who has already invested all this money than we will from trying to sell models from a 20-year-old film in a new scale that actually...
I wouldn't start new. I would just keep playing SPG.
I think GW have got. I mean, SPG in such a good place at the moment. Like, I think it's not a toxic player base at all, and like they're very.
I almost feel like if Rings of Power had done better, they would have pulled it away from Games Workshop so that they could do Rings of Power. But because they're maybe going to sit on the fence until season 2, they might be willing to give Games Workshop have another 3 years. Make it some more.
It's a bit like with the Hobbit. I think the Hobbit will have been a lesson, won't it? Because they really struggled to shift quite a few of the Hobbit minis, and hence why we've seen Legendary Legions come out to sling those models.
Obviously, like New Line Cinema still have a finger in the pie with this as well, so they're probably going to be putting pressure on because they want their cut still.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine they're still making a fair bit of money off.
Well, apparently, like I can't remember where I read this, but it was an interview. The New Line Cinema people absolutely love Games Workshop. Apparently, it's like one of the best deals that they've ever signed for merchandising because they're still making money off a film 20 years later, which normally only happens with DVD sales.
Yeah,
so they love it. But yeah, that ended up being a bit more serious than.
Oh, what are our wrong answers?
Wrong answers only. Another Shire book.
Rohan.
Right.
What could they possibly do for
that?
Rohan?
Actually, could happen. There's a few things.
Like what?
Elder Young.
Yeah, that's shit. That's true, actually. But he could fit in my Wars Before Lord of the Rings book.
I think it would be a bit outraged if they did another Rohan.
Another Uruk-hai Legion. Defensive Isengard.
Defensive Isengard.
What if with the Saruman Legion? Like that could actually be a thing.
Yeah, it could be.
But it would just be orcs.
But they could get some cool bonuses. Like some of the other Lurtz's Scouts is pretty much just Uruk-hai. Nobody complains about that one.
True, they actually don't.
No. Not really zinged.
Here's an interesting question that we received. Are you guys using aliases? No. Yes.
How long, if you legally change your name, does it have to stay the same?
Don't know.
I'm just wondering, we could all just change our names for, a bit.
For the recording.
And then...
yes.
Just so we can tell people in the comment section that that's our real name.
I'll show them my passport, driving licence.
OT.
Sort code.
Does it say Old Toby, though, or OT?
Old Toby. That's my name. It's just a fun nickname.
Spelled with an E for some reason.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know.
OTOBEY. Yeah.
Yes.
Oldie. Oldie.
Yeah.
Oldie Toby.
We are using aliases.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're welcome.
That was an actual question. What hobby YouTube do you watch?
I watch some Kill Team stuff. I watch occasionally Glass Half Dead, and I watch a lot of Can You Roll a Crit? Because I think the analysis side of things is quite interesting, and the kill team meta at the moment is a bit fucked up. It's quite interesting seeing people's opinions on that. Occasionally watching bat reps that are 20 minutes or quicker, because I don't have time for anything longer than that.
How long
My
are
attention
bat
span
reps?
won't between 15 and 50 minutes.
There you go.
So
but, more than 50 minutes, technically.
Yeah, so yeah, people who make bat reps, I guess.
There you go. I weirdly tend not to watch stuff about games that I actually play. So
is that just because you're intrigued by other game systems, or?
I think so. I think I guess there's a certain element. I guess one of the reasons why you create a YouTube channel is because you feel like people aren't creating the content that you want to watch. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So whilst I do watch some Middle Earth content, I think there was also there was a significant gap that I was like, I want to do something. Not that we do, do Middle Earth content.
Yeah, not a lot of our stuff. Like some of our stuff is original, but a lot of it isn't. So
my feeling is a lot of the Middle Earth podcasts are very competitively focused.
Yeah,
and I hope that people, when they listen to ours, don't think that we're super competitively focused. So that was kind of like, but yeah, I tend to actually watch quite a lot of stuff that's like historical. So like Little Wars TV, I think they're an amazing YouTube channel. Highly recommend their videos. They're really cool. I also watch a little bit of Kill Team stuff.
what's that bat rep? The Kill Team bat rep channel that's really good.
Mountains.
Yeah,
something like that.
Mountainside Wargaming or something.
Maybe they're really good. Their bat rep style is really good. Must be
really highly produced.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work.
Yeah.
I generally watch like general hobby stuff as well. So like the painting phase, that sort of thing, where people just like chat about hobby or paint stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. AT.
I don't watch that much hobby stuff, if I'm being brutally honest. I've been nerding out over Legion recently, which I've caught some flack for. So Crabber, Wargame of All Trades, who I really like. They just do really concise breakdowns of Legion stuff, which is nice. It's not super competitive either. Some of it's quite themey, which is nice. Painting, I watch quite a lot of Duncan Rhodes when he's talking about painting, and that's helped me get better at painting.
I watched a lot,
unless you've got a contrast, in which case slap it on.
I watched a lot of Duncan Rhodes when I was getting back into painting as well. Yeah, he's very good for beginner painters, and I think more experienced ones as well.
Because like, is it Serasto or somebody who does like quite high level painting? I can't remember if I've made that.
Possibly,
quite like, a few. Yeah, like I think painting like that's great, but I just don't have the patience or dexterity to do it. And so it passes me by.
It's not really the question, but what I generally don't enjoy is like the really over the top. I'm never going to do this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think what's good about hobby wargaming is a mixture of stuff that's a little bit too much effort for you to do yourself.
Like going to a tournament.
It's within bounds
that you could
feasibly do it, and then as I keep hammering away, it's like living vicariously. But the videos I don't enjoy are like stuff like where have you ever come across a channel called Squidmar Miniatures? So he does like these like £1,000
oh yeah, trading my way to a massive
the video, it's like very clickbaity. Like the video is always like I destroy a £2,000 miniature to create this diorama, and I'm not. It's very impressive. He's amazing at painting. His like hobby skills are amazing, but I'm just like, I don't really find that interesting because
it's like sensationalism a little bit.
Exactly, and I guess a lot of people watch it because they just want to. Like I would be interested in seeing his analytics because I imagine he must get quite big spikes at the end of his videos.
Just to see it done. Yeah, probably.
So yeah, don't massively enjoy that.
575k subscribers though.
He does have a lot. Yeah,
he's living good.
There's definitely a market for what he does. I'm just not that market. Our questions for each other then.
Yeah.
Shall we go one at a time?
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
How many questions did we say it was going to be?
3.
3. Sure.
I've got a couple of spare ones in case any of mine clash with yours.
Same.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay, good.
If we could be sponsored by any company, hobby company, who would it be and why?
Does it have to be a hobby company?
No, it doesn't. I said company or hobby company.
Greg's.
Hey, Greg's.
Sponsored by any company.
Do we get? Is this like what would we make the most out of in terms of referrals from our viewership, or is it like
I think it's just what
when you say sponsored, like are
if
they?
you could like work with a company,
Okay,
like,
and we get free stuff,
and they would like cover your costs,
Oh,
and
cool.
that you'd occasionally get free shit.
Do we get to do anything with the company, or
If it became appropriate, yes. If we cleaned up our brand image a bit.
Okay.
Greg's.
Greg's?
No.
Okay. I think there's 2 Venn diagrams for viewership. I think Greg's is over here.
Maybe like some kind of techie company,
Mhm.
like I don't know.
I might say Lego.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that would be.
Oh
really
my God,
cool.
yeah.
And when I asked you, would we get to work there? I think it'd
Yeah.
be really cool if Lego brought out a board game,
Yeah. That would
or
be-
like
yeah.
even a board game that uses Lego minifigs. You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
buy like expansion packs.
Mm.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Because think about like how like obsessed people are about WYSIWYG. You can actually do that with Lego.
Yeah.
Because
for
you
sure.
could just
Take stuff off, put it on.
or not.
I mean, I feel like Games Workshop's also like potentially a really good one because if they could just basically supply our hobby to us, you know, whatever we wanted.
I don't think I would want to work at Games Workshop.
I'm unsure. Like I have never interacted with them, really, so I don't know. But like I'm a little hesitant.
You have to sign a lot of stuff.
Mm.
Obviously, it would be great from a Middle-earth side of things,
Yeah.
but yeah, I probably wouldn't work at Games Workshop. To be honest.
I think I'd pick like a 3D printing company who could like print custom stuff for us. I think that would be really cool.
Maybe we could even ask for
Give us
custom ones.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah, that's what I was
oh,
thinking.
we need.
We've got
you know,
almost 500 subscribers.
We know our worth.
0.
We will take 125mm miniature.
We don't even have enough subscribers to make money from YouTube. That was a good question.
Thank you. It's been
There you
ages.
go.
Now your question that you've.
I think we
it's the best.
Okay. So my first question is, how has doing the YouTube channel influenced your hobby experience?
I think I do more. And that's kind of originally why I started the blog was it gave me like a purpose to doing the stuff. So that rather than starting a project, painting like a couple miniatures and then giving up is like because I was posting on the blog, I kept going, and I think the YouTube channel does a similar thing. So I would say that this helps me in doing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think it's made my painting better because I think I'm putting more effort and time into it than I was.
Do you think that's just come with like if you'd painted the same amount of miniatures, you would be at the same place?
I think I'm engaging with it more than I was previously. Like I'm putting more thought into it.
because you know you're gonna have to show them on the channel.
Well, but also like I think it's good to have something to talk about with your minis, not just like I painted them, be like I tried this and I tried this, and like it does make me think about it more, which is good.
It hasn't affected my hobby experience because I don't paint them.
It's just made me feel more shame.
Yes, every month I have to tell people that I've done nothing. No, it has. I think it's helped to engage with the hobby overall. Like it doesn't. Obviously,
doesn't motivate me to paint.
It hasn't motivated nothing motivates me to paint really.
Apart from tournaments.
Apart from tournaments when I submit my list and I haven't painted anything. So not so much that side, but definitely the like engaging with the hobby and understanding it and going to events. Because there's like more incentive to record these things or like talk about them. When I go to an event and I'm taking pictures of the games. And then I get to do the video editing for it. It just makes it more interesting for me. Like, it's not just going and doing the experience. It's like, and then I get to make a video and I get to share it with people and see what they think about it and watch the viewers roll in for some reason.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Your question.
My question then is, what video ideas would you like to do in future? And these don't have to be feasible. Like if you could
Pretty open.
if you could create a video for our channel or a series of videos, what would you like to do? And it could be something which legitimately you think we could do, or it could be like slightly more ambitious.
A very in-depth thematic campaign of some form.
That would be cool.
Building terrain, making the scenarios, painting the armies, playing them.
Would it? I'd like to build on that and say that, but also some kind of like role play D&D elements where like so let's say we like I don't know we are characters that are leading like forces in Middle Earth, and there's like a big old map with like hexes on it that you're traveling across, and then when we do things we build terrain and do all
This
that
is
stuff.
this is actually kind of exactly what I was going to say.
Shit.
I think
It sounds like we should do it.
No,
Sounds like a lot of effort.
This is.
In my mind, the pinnacle of wargaming would be to recreate like a total war game, but with miniatures and a map.
Mm.
Like I think that if you can do that, that is the best thing you could ever do, miniature wargaming. I imagine like medieval Total War, if we were able to get like 20 people and they didn't flake, they stuck it through.
Yeah.
And you could go through, like, move your armies around, actually fight them, have like uneven points, or like not even a point system at all, but like genuinely like have to think about it. I think that'd be amazing. I think it's really difficult to actually not only start, but I think finishing
people
that
invested.
is
No, I agree.
I also think I quite like the idea of like documenting a GBHL season's worth of going to tournaments, and like tracking that journey, like seeing where you placed in the end.
One video.
No, well,
like a
it could be a summary.
Okay.
There could be a summary at the end, but yeah, like my GBHL, my GBHL like
a 3-hour
journey.
build.
And if you recorded every tournament and you like placed fairly well, a lot of people I think already watch videos like Bat Reps, even though they don't play the game, or they have miniatures but they don't have anyone to play, or they don't want to play. They can all like experience the like the whole GBHL thing vicariously, which will be quite cool, I think.
I think that idea would be really good if we get a new player, and document them.
Yeah, just let them do their thing and just.
If you could do like a year, like 12 episodes, one each month.
Would it be entertaining if they were just new and they just lost every game though?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what would make it entertaining is month 1 they collect the army.
I see their
month
progression.
2 they learn to play the game. Month 3 they go to.
We could coach them.
That's not a good idea.
Month 3 they go to a local club. Month 4 they go to an AT, and like so on. Again, though, it'd be very difficult to actually do.
We'd have to find someone.
You'd have to find
rope in.
That's a lot of time commitment.
Yeah. AT.
Cool.
Next question.
I'm not saying we are one. I'm just asking this in general. What does it take?
I'll be a couple. Yes.
What does it take to make? Try that again. What does it take to make a successful hobby YouTube channel?
We wouldn't know.
I began by saying that. But what do you think the hobby channels that are succeeding?
If we knew that, then we'd be succeeding.
Well, no, okay, so when you watch their videos, like what is it that they're doing well?
I think it's the amount of time that people tend to put into editing, and like you look at Mountainside Tabletop or Wargaming, whatever it's called, where they do battle reports that are incredibly well made. Clearly a lot of time's gone into recording it and thinking about how they're going to do it, and making sure that every single thing is perfect and that it's a concise battle report. They've not got that many videos, but they've got a shit ton of subscribers, and it's just because the content is so well made. But I feel like that's just too much effort at the moment for us.
I think you have to make stuff you want to make and would be happy making if no one ever watched.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we did at the beginning, isn't it?
But I think that's what you've got to accept. Like, I think you've got to accept that you're doing it because you think it's fun, and you're not doing it for views.
Yeah.
Because I think as soon as you think I'm just doing this for views, and your channel doesn't get any, you just give up.
And the algorithm's too unpredictable. Like, we've still got no bloody clue why some videos do well and some don't. Like,
but I think that you've got to almost like treat it as you don't care how a video does, and it is super, like, even for us with a very small channel, like when we make a video that we think is really good, it is a bit disappointing when then that
Nobody
video
watches it.
doesn't do as well as a video which, like, we I think we can be frank here, like the Arnold video we did recently, which me and Mare like literally threw together.
It's an average episode.
It's like very average, like nothing special, bog standard. Is performing better than our norm, and we don't know why, because it wasn't it wasn't well edited.
it's a niche faction.
It wasn't like a big faction. It's not really something that either of us were like massively interested in
Or knowledgeable about.
but the video just overperforms, and you're like, oh, okay. And then like one that you actually put loads of effort into, just like bombs. It's like, oh, why did that do that? But I think the key is like I think it's human to be slightly disappointed when you do a load of work and you don't get a thing.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to not care, and that you're just doing it for yourself.
Because also, if you make a video that you're like proud of, then it will. Whereas, like, if you churn out a video and it's,
I think as well, just to add on to that, the other thing that helps is we are all fairly happy doing stuff. Like, it's not just one of us doing all the editing. Like, all three of us edit.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us will make stuff independently. And like, I think that really helps, because I think it takes a lot of the pressure off. Like, if you're trying to do it as one person,
We just do what we want to do, don't we?
yeah, and I think that helps.
Yeah. It also creates quite like diverse content on that channel. Like,
it really does.
With the OT investigates and me doing battle reports and Onod doing whatever it is Onod does.
That 1 minute bat rap.
Really random nonsense, like, aren't worth,
You carry the
I think
painting.
the pods. Well, yeah, I think the podcast is my kind of
Baby.
range, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's that was kind of the thing that I pushed for in the first place, that we do a podcast.
So my next question is kind of similar, but it might stimulate some extra ideas. So after doing the YouTube channel, has your perspective of other channels and their content changed? And if so, in what way? I'm kind of thinking, the effort that it takes to edit a video, like, for me, looking at, again, Mountainside, like, the amount of time they must spend on it.
Yeah,
like, I can appreciate it more.
I think it goes both ways. I'm gonna carefully with this.
I'm also.
You can also
careful
see
with what I
why
say.
Some
some channels
channels
are less watchable.
It's not that, and I don't think there's what I'm about to say. I don't think that it necessarily correlates to watchability, but some channels where you're like, they basically not doing any editing. You're like, geez, okay. Because like every single one of our videos, like, we edit, and quite a lot of them we do like a sizable amount of cutting.
It's very often like half the video gets chucked on the floor.
There's like quite a lot of work to make sure that they're roughly a watchable length, and we're not leaving in any of the unfunny waffle. The debate.
Yep. That's what we do.
That's why this bit will be edited out. And then some channels where they're like, they don't edit, and you're like, oh, okay. I don't know, it's an interesting one. I don't think I'm interested in making something.
Is it that they don't edit it and there are bits in there that you're like, you could have cut that? Like,
yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like you're watching and you're just going like, I kind of understand why they're making the content, but then I'm also like, this is an hour and a half. And it could be.
It's almost too low effort.
Yeah,
you like resent them,
but then,
for not editing it properly.
I don't think it's resentment, because I appreciate that not everyone wants to spend, because editing takes longer than a video is long, basically.
If we could get away with, like, I suppose it's like the return on investment for them. Like, if we could edit a video, do a video, and we only had to ever cut out 5% of it, or we could just not trawl through it and just upload it straight away. Like, it depends how much we can make the video 5% better and spend 3 hours on it, or we could leave it. But for us, like, I kind of enjoy the editing aspect, and we do things to the video as well, as opposed to the people who are just like ranting at a camera or just recording himself painting and chatting or whatever it might be.
Yeah. I guess I'm a little bit kind of like, if you're making a video and not editing it, why don't you just live stream?
Because it wouldn't get as many views.
And also, if you did fuck it up, then there'd be no going back, would there? But that would be a more engaging thing to do if you were doing it.
It would also be really depressing if nobody showed up.
Yeah, which almost certainly
But
would
then,
happen.
but then I think that's exactly like making a YouTube channel. You just got to kind of accept.
But that's just like being on Twitch. Whereas YouTube, it's like you upload it and then you just like don't have to worry about engaging with people or that you're not going to have anyone there.
That's completely fair.
It has definitely made me appreciate like the higher quality videos and a quite out there example is like the Yogscast wargaming videos. Like,
oh yeah, those are insane.
Like, I had not realised how good they were until we had a go at doing it, and I was like, "This is
those are the ones where you can tell that they've got like a camera crew and professional editors."
Yeah.
There are some like back reps on more niche channels that I've watched, and I'm just thinking, this is shit. Yeah. And I'm like watching that they're like talking about what they're going to do informally for ages, and that doesn't get cut. A bit like what Onod was saying, where you're just like, why hasn't this been cut? Like, this isn't interesting.
I think that's fine though. I think some people like it, because I think some people legitimately like that because they
like a 2-hour back rep where like they're like flicking through the rules. But
I think there are bits in there you can take out and use to help your game.
I think some people like feeling like they're sitting at the table with that person.
Whereas you want something that's 25 minutes long and is
I just want to see the important bits happen. I guess because like if it's Middle Earth SPG, like I know how to play. Yeah. I don't need to hear people discuss what person they're going to move off with. Yeah. We're going to cut that from the other part. No, it's just. Yeah, I guess it's different for different people. Yeah. The one that really annoys me is the top-down camera view where you can see absolutely fuck all, and the whole thing is 2 hours, and the whole thing is recorded from that perspective. Fuck me, that's miserable.
Good. I get why people live stream using it, because obviously, like,
well, then they don't have to touch the camera. But like, I mean, even if you had a stationary camera, like on the table to the side, I'd probably prefer that, so I can actually see what's happening. But
yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Next question.
It's kind of something that we covered, but it was in a video that no one watched, so I think it's fair to bring up.
Is that our favourite IP?
And it's similar to that. I'm going to reword it though. If Games Workshop replaced Middle Earth with another IP that they didn't own, what would you choose?
Done in the same style as Middle Earth?
It doesn't have to be done in the same style, so it could be a completely new game.
But so it doesn't have to replace Middle Earth necessarily. Well, or is it just like
I'm asking the questions in Games Workshop
instead of
drop Middle Earth, they lose the license, so they go and grab something else. What would you want them to go and grab? But obviously they can redesign a new game or whatever.
I mean, I probably wouldn't pick it, but I feel like the nearest thing is Game of Thrones, and I know that obviously there is a Game of Thrones board game, but I think I would trust Games Workshop to make it better than they have potentially.
I always feel like if Game of Thrones hadn't whiffed the final few seasons, that would be more likely, wouldn't it? But yeah,
I feel like it's a similar sort of factional thing. I'm like completely blanking on IPs. I feel like maybe like Pirates of the Caribbean would be cool. Yeah. With your OT, with your ship idea, and like doing ship battles and boarding and stuff like that. I think they could do that really well.
Yeah. I think the difficulty is I think for war games to work really well, you have to have such an expansive universe that it's almost like real.
Do you?
Yeah, because
But like a war game could just be
But
made up like 40k.
for a company like Games Workshop to invest the money into it, like I don't think Games Workshop would touch Star Wars because I don't think there's enough for them to make.
But they can make stuff up because it's an infinite universe like 40k.
Yeah, I don't think that they're allowed to just make stuff up infinitely. They'd have to run it past people.
Yeah, they definitely would. It would have to be approved, but that's what they do for Middle Earth, isn't it?
They've only ever invented a few small things, and they always have to be based on something that's written.
Okay, but your question was.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like I don't think that something like Star Wars is big enough.
I feel like there are good enough Star Wars things out there that it wouldn't need to be.
But I mean, even now, like they've kind of run out of stuff to make for X-Wing, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like they've kind of run out of ships. And there's not.
But for Legion, they've like barely scraped the surface.
But in terms of things which are actually marketable, how much they got left? They could probably
every Jedi in existence.
Okay, yeah.
Every other type of clone squad that they haven't done.
I don't know.
They could make clone factions with different battalions. They could.
But why would you buy that and not just paint a different colour?
Well, what I'm saying is that they could expand on.
But that's
what
rules, not models.
But then also, they wouldn't just want to expand in one direction, would they? Just in one faction, like they need to balance it out with like. I'm sure there are,
Yeah.
but
I imagine with Legion, it's they could expand into the sequels.
Yeah.
The fact they haven't kind of suggests that I don't think they think that that's commercially viable. And they could expand into maybe like they could do. I don't know. I think it's the issue of Star Wars. It just all ends up looking the same. It's just the first order basically just stormtroopers, slightly different helmet. But anyway, how's like I've kind of side tracked.
ITs.
AT.
I feel like
it'd be completely different. But like, I think some kind of like it'd be more of a strategy game. I think it'd be something like historical. I'm trying to think how it could work.
maybe like a medieval.
Well, I went to the Crusades. I think Crusades would be quite cool.
But then it's just like.
But I think the Crusades is such a like. Firstly, it actually covers a reasonable amount of history, and there's so many different factions that you could actually.
I think it'd be really cool to see sieges as well.
Yeah. Sieges done properly would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's quite tricky.
What would you pick?
Oh,
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I do think Pokemon is so economically. You can make a model for every single Pokemon.
It's so expensive though if you get the IP.
It's so expensive. I mean the Dune films. I think would be potentially quite good. And I think, like we were saying, Game of Thrones, do House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
You get the dragons, you get the different armies. That'd be quite cool. I just don't feel like it's quite. I don't think it's just not quite as like culturally big as Lord of the Rings was it?
And Lord of the Rings has like such a diverse array of factions.
It's kind of unique, isn't it?
Yeah, like Game of Thrones, everyone's got foot soldiers, everyone's got cavalry. You've got some interesting things like the dragons and the obviously
Dothraki.
Yeah, so like everyone, there are differences, but not in a. You know, there's less magic and monsters and creatures and stuff.
There's not quite as much depth. Yeah.
And
then are we doing one more each?
Yes.
Lemonek, you have to make up another one.
I've got my last one. I'm hoping Oki's not going to steal it.
I don't actually like the question I've written. Come back to me in a second. I'm going to change this one.
Right. My question is...
It's changing the format halfway through.
Yeah.
What is your favourite and least favourite part of content creation?
Oh. It's quite a difficult question. I mean, I think videos where like it was a good idea and we have interesting things to say, the actual recording could be quite fun. I think just like chatting shit for an hour is quite fun a lot of the time. I think brainstorming is often quite fun as well.
Yeah, because you can plan out what something could be.
Yeah. Which I think kind of links back to what I was saying, like, make content that you want to make for the sake of it. Like, I wouldn't ever put, like, seeing positive reactions at the top, weirdly, in that sense. Worst bit.
Having to talk to us.
Yeah, probably. I guess sometimes we have created for ourselves a bit of a pressure that we didn't need to create content. And I think that we rectified that by changing how we did it. But it definitely got to the point, didn't it, where we were trying to do the podcast weekly, where we were like,
with all three,
this is too much. Yeah,
I agree.
I have my question.
You haven't answered my question yet.
Oh,
and I haven't answered my question.
Oh gosh, I felt like we'd just sort of
agreed with that.
A natural pause.
All right.
You answer your question first.
Okay. I had a least favourite part of it ready and I've forgotten it. But I think it might. Oh, I remember. My least. My least favourite is having to say that I've done nothing in the hobby section again. And my favourite, as cheesy as it sounds, is just being able to like chat with you two about hobby stuff.
No,
we chat randomly about hobby stuff like before we made the podcast, but
the difference is we used to do while playing Rocket League.
Yeah, we used to just and it was and it was
like
like
Rocket League right now.
It was always very like just whatever was going on, but I like that it's like structured and we get to chat about it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, agreed.
The worst part is when your editing software breaks and it deletes an entire video and you actually cry.
Did that happen to you?
Yes, couple of times.
No.
Do you remember that? Well, that
Stop using that software.
the B&B episode that glitched because I downloaded the audio in the wrong format and it just broke the video.
I haven't had that video yet.
No, that's
I would be absolutely shocked.
That was my
fault.
My favourite bit is when a video that you don't expect to get any views at all gets a weirdly high number of views and people actually engage with it.
There you go.
Yeah, your OT Investigate stuff has done that quite a few times.
Yeah, it's quite hit and miss because I mean it's literally a stream of consciousness a lot of the time. And,
I think it's good though.
I think it's stuff that I'm interested in, and
like
that enables me to motivate myself. Cool. That was a good question. I think I've now forgotten what my question was. Oh no. Do you think we deserve more, less, or the same amount of success than we have had?
Same. We definitely deserve more.
I feel like we often say that we can't believe that people listen to this, which says to me that I think, but I think when we say that we are joking. Like I think.
Are we?
Well, obviously, people see some kind of value in it. People obviously see some kind of value in it, and I think we have exactly the right number of subscribers because we have the number of subscribers that want to listen to us that have found us so far, and that's just like it's still more than we like care about. As in, like, we like if we still had like 20 subscribers, we'd probably still be doing this.
I think given that we don't really have a focus,
and
I'm sure channels that make stuff won't mind just dropping in, but like any heroics you just think.
I was just about to
started like 6 months after us and like leapfrogged us and now have like almost triple the subscribers.
Because they make early battle.
They've got like their focus and what they do for the audience they make it for is really good. They do well. I think what's nice about ours is that we just make any help.
But then I think that inherently makes it less easy for the audience to know.
I think so.
What they're going to get.
I think we're very consciously aware that there's a significant proportion of our subscribers who are here just for the batter ups.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would subscribe to our channel. I was thinking about this the other day. Like,
I probably would.
I don't subscribe to many people. I tend to just watch videos that they might recommend, and the same channels pop up because I watch them, but I tend not to actually click the subscribe button. I'm one of those, like, when you see those videos that go, "Why aren't you subscribed?" I'm one of the 90% of people who watch their videos.
In the majority, it's a good place to be.
I would probably
algorithm cheese.
I'd probably subscribe to us for the bat reps and then watch the occasional like other interesting video.
And that's why Mayor hates filming.
Well, like I enjoy the bat reps, but also like I have watched back some of our bat reps and I still just find it interesting to like see them play out. But then other videos like the politics of Middle Earth, as I'm scrolling through our channel and looking for stuff that I would watch, I'd probably watch like the intro to Burrows and Badgers video because that looks interesting. Or like any of the before you buys the factions I play. Like there's enough other content that it wouldn't just be Batter Reps that I'd be watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question. It's going to be a kind of Snog, Marry, Avoid style question, but for our videos that we've made this year.
Right.
So,
What out of the like 77 videos?
One video that we've made, you can delete.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, okay.
One video.
Let me get a list of our videos.
One video you can remake.
Yeah, already got that sorted in my head.
And one video that you think is absolutely fine, but you'd like to post it now that we have more subs.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well that changes my decision. Right, we're gonna have to cut here because we're all gonna think very deeply.
Yes, deeply. I will start us off.
I think we're gonna have really similar ones on them.
I think re-upload the Making New Mechanics for Middle Earth.
Yeah.
I think it was a fun idea that we had where I think we actually had some really interesting discussion about like the game and the mechanics.
And nobody watched it.
And nobody watched it. But I think the issue was it was too early in our lifetime because no one clicks on a video with people they don't know.
Yeah.
Whilst people were clicking on Legendary Legion discussions at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that would be the one I choose to re-upload. I think remake, it's a bit of a cop-out, but I think the Rings of Power profiles.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good idea. I'm just not really sure it served a purpose other than us. I think
could we make it serve a purpose though?
I think the issue is when we came up with that idea, Rings of Power hadn't come out fully.
Yeah.
We were like, we watched like the first couple of episodes and we were all a bit like, it's all right. And we were like, this would be a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like Games Workshop don't have the thing, let's do this. And as it came out, we basically lost some of the enthusiasm because it was like we didn't really enjoy the series as much as we thought we were going to. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it definitely wasn't good. And so I think that series, and I think you can tell by views, like when we did the first one and there was still a little bit of buzz for Rings of Power, it did all right. But by the last one, it was like, no one really cared. No. I don't know exactly what we would change, but I think that I would change that. Delete. This one's more difficult.
Just delete one of my bat reps.
No, because the bat reps were all good. Would you be offended if I chose one that I wasn't in?
You're gonna do the Dragon Emperor?
Yes, in the Dragon Emperor.
That's the one I'm binning as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I regret a lot of the things I said.
I think that so much of that was like
Salt.
hyperbole and reacting to stuff which we hadn't really played in game. And part of the reason why I wasn't in it was because I was basically like, I'm not that interested in doing this video. So I didn't feature in that one because I was like, I think he's good, but I don't really know if we need to make this.
It'll be interesting to see now with the FAQ if he does become
a
problem. I doubt it in a way, but like
I think what that video was good at doing was taking advantage of the vibes that the Dragon got.
Yeah,
like got good use for the time.
It's clear. He is a very strong model, but like I think Eatlings are still not in a place where they are.
Yeah, it wasn't a video that I was massively interested in at the time, and I don't know if it's aged fantastically.
Was it the Legion discussion you're saying you'd been, or the Fixing the Dragon Emperor?
Fixing the Dragon Emperor.
Okay, yeah.
You guys then.
I would fix the fucking cursed B&B episode that I broke by being incompetent.
Okay, so you change that one.
I would. The only change I'd make to the new game IP ideas is to fix the audio because the audio was recorded in your sitting room with a shit microphone, and
so is that one that you'd re-upload?
That's one I'd re-upload with just normal microphones, and I would delete the Ardacom 2022 Team Winner Name Music version. because I think we just chatted for like 100 minutes, and it wasn't well edited. It didn't have any direction.
I think that's definitely where you can see that we didn't really know how to.
It was our most views on like the first 10 videos, and then Black
it was our second ever video. It definitely helped in, I think, getting a few people that Mayor already knew to watch the channel, which was obviously helpful in the early days.
Yeah. I like that it was just me ranting for an hour.
I think the thing with that is we've discussed this before. Other channels do tournament reports.
Yeah, but if you've won it, it's more interesting. Like
they do it in a very different way to us, and I think that we haven't ever got around how to stop it just being you monologue your. Because it's interesting to tournament report. When I'm talking about a game I had, I'm like, this was the game I played, and I'm like talking, I'm like, yeah, this is all like good. And I listen back to it and I'm like, God, I just fucking waffled, and it's not that interesting for 10 minutes.
But it's like a really quick battle recap, and a bit like how I enjoy watching 20-minute bat reps because I get to see how the game played out and what worked and what didn't work.
There's definitely an audience for it.
I mean, I think it shows how far we've come when you look at Arlecon winner 124 views versus the How I Won with Goblin Town 1,100 views.
Yeah.
And the difference was 9 months of time. Like,
I mean, if we post that video now, it would do.
Yeah.
There you go.
My choices would be to delete fixing the Dragon Emperor for obvious reasons. Much regret. I've played Dragon Emperor 3 times and not lost yet.
He needs to be fixed.
He needs a buff. I was debating re-uploading new game IP ideas, but I actually think because it was literally our 3rd video, and we were probably all very nervous and weird, and like OT was saying, the quality wasn't amazing. I'd quite like to re-record that and re-upload it because I think it would be interesting to see how that does nowadays as well.
That was the one where we did a good video idea too early.
Yeah. And the re-upload, I'm actually really not sure. I think I would quite like to see one of the Boroughs and Badgers ones uploaded again, like one of the first ones, because they were quite early on, and they did gain some traction, but like it's something I'd like to do more of, and I'd like to see more people engage with those.
I think we're definitely gonna come back to Boroughs and Badgers at some point. We've got a few plans and stuff.
We've got a few plans. We've got thousands of plans.
It's when the new edition drops. It'd be interesting to see.
Please. We're not playing it.
We're not playing that, but like, it'd be interesting to see if the player base like migrates to just other games, because like I think it will be really interesting to see when it drops. But it's had a troubled conception, to be fair to say.
Yeah. Right. We've stopped the news. Jesus. I might just cut out some of the uninteresting questions.
Out of 20.
Out of 20? Oh, that's not too bad, actually.
No.
News. FAQ. I think we'll do its own video, shall we? But very quick thoughts. I think it was a good FAQ.
I agree.
There we go.
I think they fixed a few obvious things, like the fly stuff being cleared up's cool. It will be interesting to see what rises to the top. I personally think Serpent Hold would be really good, but that's my 10 cents.
I personally can't really think of anything now that I would want nerfing, and I think that the stuff people are complaining about is mostly just because people are playing it well. I don't think anything's so. Obviously, people disagree with this, and I'm sure we will get at least one comment. But I don't think anything's now so bad that I'm sitting there thinking this should be nerfed. Whilst the Bears, I was like, I don't like how this plays.
Yeah, I think Bear Save changing to a 6+ rather than a 5+ is
good idea.
Really, really good. Because that's the bit where it's like, okay, I've just spent all that might to do 2 wounds, and you've just got rid of them for free.
I think it was the fact it was an infinite resource that just made it really strong. Yeah. Like, you didn't have to spend anything to just keep. Yeah.
We'll save any more for its own video.
Yeah,
because I think we. Games Workshop are having to delay releasing stuff.
Because they're moving warehouse.
In warehouse, which is
Again.
interesting.
Yep.
You'd have thought Games Workshop would plan moving warehouse, but when
The kill team meta has gone to shit for no reason as far as I'm
Has
concerned.
10th edition gone? I've no interest, but I'm just asking.
I think a lot of the veteran players aren't that keen on it because it's gotten rid of a lot of complexity that they used to be good.
Back in,
Yeah.
the codex.
Potentially, yeah. But Codex is like always really slow
I've
coming
heard
out.
a lot of people saying it's good. I think for
I think
people
it is
who
good.
got out of it in 9th because it was too complex have come back to it. It's just I think there's two sides to the 40k player base: the ones who like a more streamlined game, the ones who don't. And I think it's just a constant seesaw between the ones who want a rule for every single little minutiae so that they can depict their special little snowflake space marines who are painted slightly differently, so they therefore need a different book. Versus the people who are like, I don't care, I just want to throw dice and have fun, and I don't want to have to learn 2 million rules.
And also, like 40k has such a large dedicated fan base. It is impossible to keep everyone happy.
That is
Like,
true.
it's insane. And
I
like
think-
when you have people who take the games fucking seriously, as people who play 40k do.
And I think
It's
ultimately, Games Workshop would probably rather keep the people who are new to the game happy.
Keep making money.
I think they pretend that they are interested in keeping the competitive player base happy, but I think that's because they've acknowledged
They're really hooked in.
yeah, they're already hooked in, but I think Games Workshop acknowledge that a lot of what people go and watch on YouTube is competitive players playing back rows and stuff. So I think they've acknowledged that they want those people to say they like the game because then that helps new players get in.
Yeah, I think it has all just made it a lot easier for new players to get in, which is what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else going on. Has there been any? There's not been any Legion stuff, has there?
Well, Bright Tree got released,
Yeah, Brightree kind
but that's been like spoiled for a while. And there's the Tempest Legion, which is the counterpoint to Bright Tree, which is just vehicles and stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Ewok models look really cool. They're expensive as fuck.
They
but
are very
they are
expensive.
cool. I compare them to like hobbits in SVG. Like
Yeah.
they come in small packets, and you need a horde, and they're very expensive.
They're cheap. They're cheaper than Hobbits, to be fair.
Yes, but
but
that's not hard.
no. And then lastly for news, shall we discuss anything that we're planning to do on the channel, or do we not want to commit to that?
What do you mean?
Are you talking about short term or longer term?
Over the next year,
Oh,
Oh
do
my
we
god.
want- do we want to?
Well, we're gonna have to pick
I
one
think-
of our like 5 campaign style things.
let's
to do,
record
aren't
it,
we?
and then you can always cut it if it's shit.
Yeah, we want to do scanning the chart, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
I think that's is that next? Do you reckon? Assuming we don't get distracted by something
I
else.
think
I think it's getting to the point where it's feasible. We've got almost all the hobbits. We've got the terrain. We just need the ruffians.
I'm planning to buy ruffians as my next thing to do.
So yeah,
we know how to make bat ropes now.
Yeah.
so the plan would be to do it exactly like the rulebook, play through all the scenarios where each one affects the next one.
Oh, that'd be so cool if we get it right.
And I think we're really looking forward to trying it.
It'd
And
be good to do some narrative stuff.
Yeah.
I think it will be a good learning lesson as well in terms of when we come back to something like Burrows and Badgers, because I think the first time we tried to do it, we didn't really think it through, and we thought we'll just play some games and we'll just talk about it, and it didn't really work.
No.
And I think
It didn't really track like between games very much.
yeah,
did
I
it?
think now we've done the bat reps and everything, I think we'll be a bit more effective at it, and editing in as well. We've got better editing, so I think we'll be able to like edit proper little summaries and stuff between games. So
The Shire RP thing, which may be coming soon, very much might not happen.
yeah, of doing a pen and paper RPG, and we might record it, but we might not.
Watch this space.
What was the other thing?
This might be a good way of
Wasn't there
actually
something else
seeing if people are interested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's still
nobody's
listening
watched
to
the
it.
end of this.
No one's watching it, but let us know if you think you would be interested in us playing an RPG. Leave it in the comments.
That'd be
But
so good. We're gonna do it either way. It's just whether or not we record
yeah,
it.
it's just where we record it. It's a game that I found where you play as hobbits and you don't do anything important. The
Yeah.
tagline of the game is "We don't like adventures." Thank you.
It sounds really fun.
I think we'll have to do character voices if we do it though. Otherwise, it won't be entertaining enough.
Of course.
I think it'll be entertaining.
I think it will be funny, and we might record and put it out again just because it's in the spirit of we want to do it.
Yeah.
But we'll
There's also
probably
you
end up
don't
just
really
playing.
have to edit it. Like,
Yeah, that's a good thing.
unless obviously Onod will hand draw images to go with it.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Might do some historical stuff, maybe.
Yeah, we're discussing doing some historical stuff. I'm not really sure how we go about doing videos for that. It might. I might.
We would go to Eep and
Yeah. Well,
maybe that trend.
I'm thinking that I might start doing like a kind of hobby update with historicals and blend it with some of the history.
Mm.
But I've tried filming and painting and I can't do it.
Mm.
So I won't be able to do it like that. So yeah, we've got lots of ideas.
Yeah.
Join us in a year's time where we haven't done any of those things.
We'll do scouring.
I think we'll do scouring.
We'll do
I think we're
scouring.
pretty settled. Thank you for listening to the last ever Hobby British show.
This year.
This podcast year. Yeah, what a year.
When did we actually start? When was that?
15th of August.
15th of August.
Well, that's when we posted. So
another video is going to go up before. Oh no, this will be.
Yeah.
This will be the
Yeah.
annual one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to not upload on the 13th.
We planned it.
Did we?
Well, we planned it when the original schedule wasn't going to work, and we realised it was an easy
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Jeez. Can't believe we've been going for years. To be honest.
It is a bit bonkers.
I mean, we've done a lot. Like we've done a lot of chatting shit. Basically,
Yeah.
I wonder
I mean,
how many
this
hours
is-
worth there is. Of...
This is a prime example. This episode is us chatting shit about us chatting shit. We've gone very meta now.
Well, maybe it's not a good idea, but I think we should try and collate our hobby for the year and see what it looks like
Plus no.
and work out how much we spent.
I don't want to work that one.
No, yeah, let's not do that.
Okay.
We need to do an outro.
Bye.
It's been great.
Thanks for listening to the Hobby Breakfast Show.
Nerds.
3 years.
We've been the mayor, and
We've been the mayor. No, just leave it at that.
We are all the men.
We are.
It's anybody who's listened since the start who's still listening.
I don't know. Comment below.
Yeah, comment below if you listen to the start.